guys, I hope you're having a great magical morning where you are, as I'm having a good morning where I am. I'm actually videoing this in the morning, so that's why I say morning. But I wanted to give you an update on what's going on with our Walt Disney World 2017 trip coming up and how the planning is going. Some of you had mentioned if I would do update videos on how planning for the trip is coming, and I thought that I would take the time out today to do one of those and share with you all the planning. So we're getting close to the 180-day mark. By the time you see this video vlog, we will probably already be past the 180. But the first thing that we have done is book our airline tickets, which is very important for me before I book dining reservations. I have been going through a whole bunch of different restaurants and getting a feel for where we want to eat this time, because we'll probably do, well, I shouldn't say probably, we will be doing a lot more of table serve credits versus quick serve credits. So there's a wider range of choices that we need, to make as far as sitting down, table serve, and figuring out what restaurants we want to eat at. But it's important to me, as my husband knows, that we always book our airline tickets first. So that is the first thing we did. And then one of the reasons why is because then it kind of dictates how early I can book our first dining, reservation on day, 1. And I want to upload a 180-day mark video for y'all on offering y'all some Walt Disney World tips when booking your dining reservations at the 180 days. So I will be doing one of those videos. It's just a matter of me sitting down and recording it. And I'll go in depth more about the 180 and offering, five, it's really mainly a couple of tips. I say 5 because I usually have like 5 things that I go through when I'm picking restaurants and deciding on where we want to eat and what times to book them and things like that. And I just want to offer y'all a little bit of advice, especially if you're going to Disney World for the first time. And sometimes people locally that know me, who've never been to Disney World but know me, will say, Rachel, do you have any, dining reservation booking tips? I have a couple of students, in my class that have never been to Disney, and they're going, for the first time, and they ask me a lot of questions about dining, or it's been ages since they've gone and they ask me questions about booking and dining. And so I want to be able to upload a video to share with y'all on that. But what have I done so far? So we booked, I'm gonna put on my glasses. So as you know, here is my planner. And we booked our airline tickets, and what's great about that is we're not going to be flying out of Columbus. Usually we fly out of Columbus, Ohio, because my in-laws take care of our puppy dog Molly for us, and they don't live far, excuse me, from the Columbus area. So they usually always bring us to the airport, and then of course when we fly home, we're able to just pick up Molly and then drive back, home to where we live. But this time we are not flying out of Columbus. We're actually going to be flying out of our local airport. So that's a good thing. We don't have far to travel. We only have to travel like 20 minutes away, opposed now to an hour and a half. So that is a big plus. And for me, I always like for my husband to try to book the most earliest flight he can get, like the very first flight out to Orlando. Usually when we fly out of Columbus, it's a straight flight from Columbus to Orlando International Airport. This time, it's not a straight flight. We will have a few, I have to look at our tickets actually. I made a hard copy of our tickets. We will only have a 20-minute layover. And then we arrive in Orlando at 9:23. And what's weird about AM, guys, AM, we take off roughly, it says we take off about 5:30 here, and then we arrive in Orlando at 9:23. What's great about that is usually when we fly out of Columbus, we usually catch a flight that always has us there, meaning in Orlando, roughly around 9, get this, 9:21. I'm like, what's the deal with the minutes? Like, you arrive at 9:21 or 9:23. It's like, it's not like 9:30, 9:45, you know, meaning, you know, every 15 minutes. It's like these weird 9:23, 9:26. I don't know. I don't understand, you know, the aviation world. But anyway, we arrive in Orlando at 9:23. And it's important to me that I know that we have that information, because then it kind of tells me when I can book my first dine-in reservation. And I always like to arrive first thing in the morning on our first day, because it's counted as day one. So what I do is I'm going to kind of estimate we arrive Orlando 9:23. I kind of give us a little room because we are leaving Ohio in February, and guys, it does snow here. So I have to consider that. And but if we don't have any bumps in the road, then we would arrive at 9:23. We'll get down there, you know, down to the Magical Express, roughly, you know, I always estimate, you know, 15 minutes to get to that point. And then usually we are able to get on the Magical Express within like 10 minutes. But like this last trip, we had to wait 20 minutes for the bus. So that was a little crazy, and that could be very difficult on small children who have to stand in that rope line for like 20 minutes. So one tip, one suggestion that I can recommend to parents, and it was actually another couple that was in line right behind us this last trip that did it. They had 2 twin girls, absolutely adorable. They were 7 years old, and we loved talking to them. They were from the Columbus area, and they had 2 twin girls, and they each brought their own tablet. It was the parents' tablets, but they let the little girls have them for the trip. And they downloaded a whole bunch of Disney movies to watch on the airplane. But it also worked out too, because when we were sitting in that 20-minute line waiting for the Magical Express to come, you know how, if you're familiar with the Magical Express, you know, they have certain lines going to certain resorts, and they have the, what is it called? The ropes. So there we are sitting in our roped area, and the girls got tired of standing, so they sat, and the parents, you know, let them watch DVDs, and then they had snacks in their backpacks. So it made the time go by for those girls much better. So, you know, tip one, I highly recommend that if you're flying and you get off that plane, make sure you have something entertaining if you have small children while they're waiting for the Magical Express. Because, I mean, you could get there and get right on, or you can get there and wait 5 minutes, or you can get there and wait 20 to 30 minutes. You just never, you never know, especially if a bus just left and you got there. But this time we waited about 20 minutes. For us, the time went by fast because we were talking to other people in line, and listening, you know, to where they were coming from and where they were staying, and just, you know, interacting with other Disney fans. So for us, the time went by fast, but for small children, it could go by, you know, slow and become stressful for them. So just keep that in mind. There's a little tip there. So for me, I estimate we land at 9:23. I'm thinking we'll get on the Magical Express about 10:15. It's usually a 30-minute, you know, ride to the Polynesian. On the particular Magical Express that we get on, the first stop is always the Polynesian. So roughly when we arrive in Orlando, roughly when we get to the Polynesian at that night, you know, when we have flown before, we've always landed in Orlando roughly around this time. We've always gotten to the Polynesian roughly between, I don't know, 10:45 and 11. So for us, it's all about booking that first meal after that 11 o'clock slot. So I'm thinking maybe to be on the safe side, I should probably book somewhere between 12:30 and 1:30. So that would probably be the time that I would book my first dining reservation, because usually when we get there, we don't do the early check-in online. I know you can do the early check-in online, but I'm going to be honest with you. My husband and I love to experience all of it, so we love to check in when we get there. We do. I know it sounds crazy. I know some people love the online check-in and they can just go right to their rooms. No, my husband and I love walking in there and just having someone from the concierge counter check us in, and we just love doing it all right there. So that's just part of the Disney, you know, experience. But as far as right now, what I'm doing, since we booked our airline tickets, in my binder, so I'll show you. So this is my binder, and you've already seen it, and I got my pretty stickers here to label things. This is like the first page, which a lot of you have already seen because I've showed you, you know, my binder. But as I flip through the Polynesian section, let me kind of go down with the camera. So as I kind of, you know, flip through the Polynesian section, I don't want to show you like my personal information, but like the very next page is a statement from our travel agent. This is where I keep it, showing that we made our deposit when we originally booked our trip. And then the next page is just like, you know, who we booked, you know, this is like a copy from Disney, you know, what room we booked and things to that nature. This I don't mind showing you. So like this is just the Disney policies about booking a trip at Walt Disney World, and travel documents and air transportation and cancellation and refunding and policies regarding that. And I just keep all of that enclosed here. I mean, look how much information. And then the next page is just kind of like, you know, it's from like the Disney Polynesian, and that just kind of talks about, what days we're going to be in, you know, there, what room we're staying in. And like I've said, we're staying in a DVC deluxe studio. We're excited about that. So that is that information. And then the very next page is our airline information. I don't want to, you know, show too much of that for privacy purposes, but like this is just like our flight itinerary that I have printed out. Even though it's on our phone, I still like to have hard copies. And then this I don't mind you showing you, but like this is restaurants. Okay, so like I'm starting, you know, to list restaurants, dinners, breakfast, you know, things like that. Lunch, we're considering eating lunch at the Grand Floridian Cafe on the day we arrive. And I marked note on when their lunch is. It's from 11:30 to 2. I would like to eat there, but I don't necessarily know if my husband would like to eat there. I find it to be a little dainty maybe, and I don't know if it's too dainty for him. He's more of a meat potato kind of guy. But like my husband said, I don't care, you know, where we eat. So the Grand Floridian is something for lunch on the day that we arrive that we're thinking about eating. If you have ate at the Grand Floridian Cafe for lunch, let me know by leaving a comment down below and let me know what you think, because that could be helpful information to me. So on the next page, I have, since our airlines are already booked, I kind of have a list of restaurants that I'm thinking about. So like, again, Grand Floridian, Ohana's, and then if you notice, I put credits. I put like credit, this is one credit, this is one credit. Then I have a blank here because I haven't figured anything out. Crystal Palace is one credit. Yachtsman is one credit. I mark the times as to where I would like to try to book that particular dining, you know, reservation. Whether or not I get it, I don't know. That's just a matter of getting online and being able to book and hopefully get the time slots I want. And that is like plan A. Now I have to move on to plan B and plan C, because I believe you have to have contingency plans in case you can't get the restaurant you want because it's totally booked or the time. So, but I would go more into that when I do a tip video on, you know, booking your dining reservations at the 180-day mark. But that's it, guys. That is what I'm working on right now. We just, like I said, we just booked our airline. So now I'm figuring out restaurants and, you know, where we might want to eat. So if y'all have any suggestions on some of your Walt Disney World favorite restaurants, you know, let me know. Leave a comment, you know, down below. your tips could help, you know, help me out. I mean, I don't know everything about Disney, but I am a Disney, you know, lover, but I can always use more knowledge from y'all as well. So that is really it. And in a couple of weeks, I hope to give you, or maybe, you know, I don't know, depends on when I get all my videos uploaded. But like I said, 180's coming up. I will definitely do a video on letting you know what restaurants we chose. And I want to do a tip video for y'all also on the 180 day mark. And I got a Disney haul I want to share with y'all. I got a couple of hauls, you know, coming up. Craft hauls and, you know, things like that to share with y'all too. But yeah, that's it, guys. So hopefully you found this great. You know, give it a magical thumbs up if you liked this video. And if you're not already a Life in Disney Mouseketeer, feel free to hit that little subscribe button down below. So till next time, guys, y'all take care. Y'all have a magical day and a magical week. And I will see y'all later. Bye, guys.